Hey, what's up, Rumblers? It's the Tan Man, and it is week 13. Welcome back to the Aftershock. And we're going to talk about some of the patch 4.0 patch notes. So, last week we went over some of the season 3 specifics, Emperor Thaurissan and whatnot. This week we actually have official patch notes. Let's take a look at those. We got the official patch notes for 4.0. Most of these things you might have heard last week regarding Emperor Thaurissan and some of the PvP season specifics. But this week, we have a little bit more. This piece is interesting, the war chest now. So at the start of a season, you might be used to maybe completing a surge and getting all your PvP points in the war chest, or completing one PvP match and all of a sudden all your family's highest leaders, all their points go into the PvP war chest. Well, this season, it's completely different. So as you can see here, War Chest Crest will no longer be immediately granted based on players' new honor after a season reset or re-earned for honor below that value. Instead, all War Chest Crest rewards per 200 honor gained per family have been greatly increased. So what this means is that for some of the more hardcore guilds, instead of instantly getting, the first 10k or 20k points in the war chest, getting those rewards instantly on day one, especially that mini, right? At 10k, it's super valuable. Now we're going to be seeing most guilds getting that at the end of the week. An active guild, with 15 members, can look to receive that 10k reward by the Tuesday if you play your surges correctly. But getting it on day one is going to be significantly harder. We do have increased crests per 200 honor, so it looks like a flat rate of 100 crests for every 200 honor now. It's actually pretty good. Most of us who get squished down to 9k want to hit 10k honor on the PvP ladder because we want to get, the new mini on the ladder as well. You get the mini on the ladder and in your war chest, and you're looking at a rare mini right off the bat. But getting that extra 1000 honor is going to net you another 500 guild crests, and assuming everybody does that in your guild, you can look to receive your mini out of the guild war chest on day one. But I would say the majority of guilds aren't going to be able to do that, but it is what it is. Is this like a huge change? Not really. I mean, in the large scale of things, in the big picture, you're going to complete the war chest regardless, right? Like, most guilds can complete the war chest. We have a bunch of PvP changes, but the big one here is that PvP wins will now re-roll green quests. So if you're a player like me, you try to maybe exhaust all 20 of your daily quests, regardless of what quality they are, right? Because you're looking to maybe get at least 10 greens and maybe 6 or 7 blues and 3 epic quests, right? Well, this change basically potentially allows you to net at least 20 minimum 20 blue quests, which is pretty good. Now the drawback, and what some players are saying, is that because it's linked to PvP wins, the resulting quest reroll is going to look at the minis in that active deck, in the PvP deck. So this is not that great if, let's say, you want to put experience into a certain leader, like let's say Rend. Well, that basically means you have to play with a Rend deck in PvP, to re-roll the appropriate quest. That is a disadvantage, and in some cases maybe you're not going to take advantage of this, and maybe you're just going to do quests like how you usually do it. But to me, it is a net positive, and in the long run, it's going to, result in a greater amount of experience regardless, right? But speaking about PvP, we've encountered another big bug. It seems like every major patch, we see a huge game-breaking bug. Last patch, it was the gold exploit. And this patch, we're seeing a lot of crash matches. Now, I don't know what this is kind of associated with. When I picked up this patch, it wasn't actually forced on me. It was like an optional update. In fact, I think some players are even still using the previous patch version. I mean, personally, the queues over 9K, they seem a little longer, whereas last season they were quite short. And I'm assuming it's because not the the entire player base isn't using the same version. So until they force everyone to patch into this new version, we're going to see like this headache. But not only that, there's players that are crashing, pretty often when they're queuing into PvP matches, up to the point where when they try to reload, they go up to 50% loading and then the game kicks them out. And it's sort of like this infinite loop. Thankfully, I haven't experienced this myself, but it is enough that warranted a blue post in the Discord and that said that they were investigating. I mean, whatever the case may be, what this smells like is another gold compensation gift. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'll gladly accept any handout they give. I'll end off by talking about something that wasn't in the patch notes. It may have been an unintended change, but it is, to me, it's a pretty significant change. As you may notice, my usual resolution now has these black bars beside them, right? So this is sort of like a good comparison, right? So as you can see, my screen, my field of view used to extend to these black edges. And now all of a sudden it's narrow. It's narrower. I mean, it's still wider than my phone, right? But it is narrower, and this is affecting, all BlueStacks users. I mean, what I'm reading is that this may have been an intended change just so that, emulator users aren't getting this advantage, right? Of having this wider field of view. I mean, it does, to be honest, it really does lend some advantage to PvP. So, I mean, to keep things fair, I can see why they did it, but I'm gonna really miss my my wider screen, that's for sure. Thanks for tuning into the Aftershock, guys. Like and subscribe for more Warcraft Rumble content, and we'll see you in the endgame.
Subscribe.